Hello and welcome. I'm Abram Buck, and today I'm going to be going over my process for crafting characters. If you're creating your own story, creating your own comic book, or making up your own world, these are some tips that you can use to help you craft characters that I use personally. A bit about me: I'm Abram Buck, a creator that helps other creators visualize their vision and their worlds. Some projects I've worked on personally is Kings of Dust, Mana Storm, and Duel of Kings. And I'm going to use these as an example of how you can create your own worlds, or how you can start to create your own worlds. I would think this is the first step you would take, is just getting a high level understanding of your world and what your story is going to be. So right here, Kings of Dust, a tactical card game that centers around a group of future leaders from warring factions. They are forced to join together to defeat a crazed godworm that is bent on destroying the world. This is the overarching story of this whole card game. And within each faction, they have their own story arcs, but here's some of the characters you can see from the game. So the first step, have a vision or create one. It's okay if you don't have a vision already. I'm gonna go over some steps how you can create your own vision. But a lot of times, just a high-level sentence about what you're thinking is a good vision. This is a cautionary meme just to say, hey, if you don't have a vision, you're gonna step on a lot of Legos. So if you don't have a vision, a great way to define your vision is to have your story and have an objective. And what I mean by that is story, your world, its characters and situations that shape the way the world is in your story today. So you can just kind of like the high-level sentence, you can come up with a high-level sentence for your own story, and then objective. So for instance, what creative problem are you currently trying to solve in your project? And I'm going to go into an example of how you can put these two together to create your vision. So let's say we have our overarching story, or actually let's say we don't have a story yet and we want to design a hunter. If you have no story, you design a hunter, it's probably going to be some generic hunter that you've seen 1,000 times, and this just says objective with no story equals generic. Now, I would argue that these designs are pretty generic. However, because the story is really good, it doesn't matter. The story is really cool. If you've seen Vox Machina, you know the writing in this is amazing. The characters are amazing. Therefore, their designs, although they are cool, they're not like super original. Like, you can look at these characters and point out exactly what they are, and they don't stray too far away from the norm, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Generic isn't a bad word. I think generic just means it has like mass appeal. Like, a lot of people will understand what it is. Like, you see him, he's got a lute guitar thing. You know he's a bard. That's generic. Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Generic just means widely recognized. Sorry, my picture's over that text. So step 2, design a world outline. This is going to help you with that statement that arcs the whole story, that overarching statement from earlier. So this is a template you can use to help you build your overarching story. I have a quadrant. I just broke it up into 4 quadrants. You want to name your project. You might do that last, but you're going to have your world, the situation your characters are in, the threat, which is probably related to the situation, might not always be, and then your story focus. And we're going to go through an example of filling this out. So right here, I'm calling my story Gigantic, the Land of Beasts. Hunter-gatherer societies litter the world in medieval times of the sword. Right there, I'm already talking about the technology. The world's technology consists of simple machinery. Most humans plant crops, hunt, or fish for food. So this kind of sets the limitations of your world, and also if you want a magic system in your world, it wouldn't be like technology or anything of that nature. It would be strictly magic. However, I did not mention magic in here, so it'll be simple technology and just sword play and hunting. Situation. In this world, there is a class of elite hunters known as Giga Hunters. Giga Hunters can be mercenaries for hire, but the most successful Giga Hunters live in castles under the employ of a king that sends them on missions to protect the kingdom and its people. So you see this situation. In a way, I'm explaining the situation of like the heroes of this world. If this was like an anime, you would be following the story of like a singular Giga Hunter. They might be somewhere just starting out, or they're really bad at it, and the story arc would be them getting better over time and going on these different adventures. Sometimes they be in over their head and they have to overcome that situation, but this will set the stage for like a lot of the future situations. Threat. Huge beasts known as Giga Monsters roam the world, killing. wildlife, and each other. They inhabit forests, lakes, caves, swamps, and other locations. So huge beasts known as Giga Monsters, they're a threat, right? These are probably like the apex predators of this world. Then finally, your story focus. Your story takes place in a fishing village in the mountains that is constantly terrorized by a Giga Bear that has taken up residence in the nearby forest. So to explain this, you can think this would be like the starting story, because the story will evolve and it will leave from this fishing village. But this is where, let's say, your anime character would start in this village. Maybe this is his home village. Maybe this is a village they're in now because they ran out of money or something. If you're going from the angle that they've been doing this for a while and they're just really bad. So after you have this built out, this is a good place to start. Now you can start to build characters and situations and different worlds and different technology, because you have this groundwork set up pretty much. So I have this little drawing here of the fishing village. You see, there's the village, a castle, little guys in the backgrounds, and up forward, boom, Giga Monster. So this is the threat of the story. We've already established these Giga Monsters are huge creatures, like the apex predators of the world. And then boom, here's your generic hunter. And that is the problem. The hunter is very generic. However, now that we have a world defined, let's take a step back and look at how we can make this hunter better. Right? Crafting your objective. So what creative problem are we trying to currently solve? We've got a hunter and we don't want him to be generic. We want him to be like cool. Now we're going to kind of tackle this objective using the story elements as inspiration, almost like the rules of your hunter. Example. So now that I have my story, the objective would be design a Giga Bear hunter that wears heavy armor, right? Right here you can see I kind of pointed out the examples in this statement, why it's so powerful, because I have a story specific piece in the Giga Bear, and then design specific, he wears heavy armor. So we know he is specifically a Giga Bear hunter. Maybe in this world they specialize in the type of creature they kill or hunt. And then he wears heavy armor, which also will come with its own advantages and disadvantages. So here's the rough sketch of the design I came up with, and I'm going to explain how I got here, because I think this design is far superior to the generic hunter we had before. So if we go, see, we had the generic hunter, let's throw in our Giga Bear hunter. Boom. Now immediately you can see a difference. This is way better than this. This guy gonna get slaughtered, right? Got a bow and arrow and a little dagger. This guy, he looks like he can stand a chance. So when you're adding props to your character or like designing elements of your character, the thing I do is ask why to everything. So here's an example of my thought process behind everything I gave him. So this hunter uses a pet to distract. He uses a baby wolf, and the rationale behind that is like a baby wolf would be easier to tame. If you tame it from when it's a baby, then it will grow up, familiar with you, and it's not like you have to find a wild wolf and tame it. And it can potentially turn on you because it grew up in the wild. This baby wolf is used to track. It's used to track the Giga Bear, first off, and also it's used to distract it. The wolf head is a familiar smell that tricks the baby wolf into thinking the hunter is its parent. So already you got the baby wolf thinking that the hunter is a wolf as well. I have a blunderbuss that's used to hamstring or slow. So this will be either an opener or a finisher. You're not going to fight with this thing up close. You're either going to use it at the start of a fight or at the end of a fight. Two-handed serrated blade. This is here to wrestle a Giga Bear. Imagine the bear, bear might be like falling on you. It probably uses body weight against you. And this weapon is it's designed that if the bear does that, the hunter can still attack. Like if the bear tried to drop onto him and use his weight, the hunter would use this serrated blade and almost like doing this or do a lot of damage to the bear. It'd be using the bear's weight against it. So in a way, this is the ideal weapon for close range. Honey jar, used to lure the Giga Bear with its sweet aroma. So in a way, it's like a lure. You could smear it on a tree, throw it away from you. Now this is before the Giga Bear engages. So this is almost like setting up the Giga Bear to be ambushed. And you're not going to do this in the middle of combat because it probably wouldn't do anything. You just be throwing it somewhere. Spike arm shell armor. So this heavy armor, which is mainly just his non-blade arm. Uses this as like a shield. Like I was saying, the bear might be falling or the bear will probably rush him. Try to use the bear's huge, right? These giga beasts are going to try to use their weight against the hunter. So it's like if the bear like came at the hunter, fell on the hunter, you could have that spiked armor, and it wouldn't do a lot of damage, but it would just be uncomfortable. Even if the bear tried to bite the arm, it was like, block the bite. Don't know what bite force that armor is rated for, but we're gonna say it's probably rated for bear bite, giga bear bite, because he's specifically giga bear hunter. And then the giga trap, used to trap or stop a charging giga bear. So he specifically has a trap to take down this one specific giga monster. And you can see this is how he pretty much evens the odds, because the giga bear is a huge, oversized beast. So to even the odds, he has all these different tools specifically designed to take down the giga bear. So in a way, he would be more of a trapper. He's not going to want to fight in close combat like immediately. He's going to want to ambush and weaken the giga bear before engaging in close combat. And he's got the baby wolf, he's got the blunderbuss, he's got the trap, the honey. He's got all these different tools in his tool belt to try to pretty much take down the giga bear.